The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. What is it? We don't know. The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. Here we go, it's the Gun Shop Show.
Welcome to the Gun Shop Show, your favorite place to be and listen to and watch us do stupid stuff. I'm your host, Logan Jones, filling in for Eli again. We got some co-hosts today.
We got co-hosts?
Kind of something like that. We're going to start off with, change it up this time.
Uh-oh.
We're going to go over to kind of the, what is your title?
The man.
I am the man.
The man, the myth, the legend, Alan Snow.
Thanks, Logan. Happy to be here.
Of course. Happy to have you. You're always wonderful.
Yeah. I'm glad that Alan's here because if he wasn't, then we wouldn't have that awesome video to be followed up by Logan.
I just want to point out that the OG better than the sequel.
Whoa. Whoa. You saying part one better than part two?
Yep.
Oh.
Actually, that's not necessarily always true because the OG Allen sunglasses not as good as the sequel.
Yeah, Alan, you're really phoning it in on those shades right there.
Good. And the other voice you're hearing is our creative director, the man that pushes all the buttons and does. Oh, Trevor Smith. Trevor. There he is. Oh yeah,
flaunting it today, folks.
He has to wear glasses because he can't see. That's how that works.
Yeah. But I also want you to know, I don't do this very often, but I have it under good authority that when I wear my hat backwards,
what's up?
I become 200% more attractive than what I was when it was forward. So sorry to do this to you guys, but you're going to have to bear with me for another 9-ish minutes like this. And I'll turn around for the guests because I don't want to make it weird.
Okay.
I ain't trying to get the Missouri Department of Conservation to fall in love with me and want to do some rut stuff.
Trevor, I do want to remind you.
Yeah, remind me, please.
That 200% more than zero is still zero. Okay.
I don't know where you math at.
Yeah.
That's correct, right, Alan?
That is correct.
Thank you, Alan.
Yeah.
Not if you add it. Come on, man.
You add it. Okay. Semantics.
But he said times.
But I did.
Trevor,
you guys got me on a technicality here.
You did mention something we're going to talk about later in the episode.
Yeah.
And that is kind of ish deer season coming up.
Oh, yeah.
We're all excited about it. Got a couple months to prepare and get ready. You might as well start now.
Might as well. Well,
even though the real hunters have been preparing all year.
Isn't there a season starting in like a couple of weeks for that? Like the kids stuff? Something's happening with deer in a couple, like September 16th?
Maybe. Archery season, I think. Archery season.
Yeah. Yeah, your boy who don't know nothing about guns knows that. What's that say?
Did you know that dove season just opened up?
Oh, yeah.
So that explains why there have been some guys come in the shop that haven't bathed for a few weeks. You know, that's a big thing.
Sure.
You don't want to have all that body fragrance when you go out hunting.
Right.
You want to have natural, get all that stuff out of your system and
you want to be musky
smell. Yeah.
Actually, you don't want to have a smell at all because deer have extremely sensitive noses.
Yeah, we've heard about the wind
miles away.
We've heard about hunting the wind.
Yeah, actually need a tag for hunting the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. And they only give out
$20.
they only give out like 2 of those, right?
There was a deer telling me the other day.
A deer talking to you?
Yeah. They said they have really sensitive noses.
Yeah.
And high karate is their least favorite aftershave.
Yeah. I'm a low karate man.
But they do like that Liz Claiborne, I think it is, for women.
I think you like Liz Claiborne for women.
Really attracted to the women.
What's even happening on that? What's even happening?
I can't believe
right
high
now?
karate is a cologne.
I don't understand.
So bad. It's got to be worse than
Aqua Velva.
They got to be worse than some of the other stuff, dude. If you want to get perfumes or colognes from the past, go to
what
a
are we
garage
talking
sale.
about?
We're talking about high karate.
I know.
We don't know.
Okay.
It's a gun shop show. We don't know.
If you wear high karate, talking to my high karate people right now.
That's right.
I think it's pronounced high
Got
karate.
some important news to tell everybody.
Yeah.
And this is serious.
Yeah.
So we all got to get serious. Okay.
I'll stop.
We have decided to, how to say this?
I don't know.
Put the show on hiatus for a little bit. Take a little bit of break, recalibrate, and come back later. What does that mean for you as a viewer? First, I want to thank you for the over a year. We have, 74 episodes now?
This is our 74th.
For supporting us for this long. We're just going to take a short little break. Not sure how long it's going to be. I want you guys to stay with us for just for as long as you can, but we're going to do some reruns in the meantime to keep the show going, and then we'll come back at some time bigger and better than ever.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure we're planning on adding more whistle to the theme song. Yeah, we're going to triple down on that
Probably
whistle.
going to change the theme song up.
Pretty much nothing but whistles the whole time.
Because people have been asking about more whistle, but because of that, there's not going to be a giveaway this week because we're not going to
be a show next week.
Exactly. Well, it'll be a rerun.
But you can still.
I want to go ahead
share
and
tag.
give this away.
Oh, yeah.
Was our
We
giveaway
should
from last
definitely
week.
do that.
For sure. That's 22
800
LR,
rounds.
800 rounds. That's like a day of shooting at least. And if you guys want to cue up some drum solo. The winner of the 800 rounds of 22 LR is Rusty Odom.
Yay!
Congratulations, Rusty. Thanks for
Rusty.
supporting us.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for tagging. He is not a local customer or a local viewer. He comes to us from one of the states that touch Missouri. I don't want to name it because I don't want to dox this guy. But
Yeah, let's not do that.
Anyway, thank you so much for everyone who has watched and listened to this show from all over the nation, not just the nation, but all over the world. We've talked to people from Scotland,
Literally
we've talked to
all
people
over
from
the world.
Ireland. I mean, I would have loved to taken a trip through, some other countries and talk to people there. And maybe we will at some point in the future. But right now, I'm grateful for the experiences and the connections that we've made on this journey along the way, and I'm grateful for everybody who's watched and listened and tolerated my ridiculous sense of humor.
Can I real quick give a shout out to a buddy of mine out
Yeah.
in California,
Sure. Yeah, shout
Richard?
out.
He just became a viewer
Did he?
a few weeks ago, and he watches every week now.
Nice.
And,
Awesome.
Want to give a shout out
Welcome,
to Richard.
Richard.
I'll be seeing Richard here in a few weeks, and so I wanted to give him a
Cool.
shout out.
Thank you.
That's pretty awesome. And it might sound like the show is ending. It's not ending. We're just taking
No.
a break. We're going to run some reruns. We've been doing the show every week for 74 weeks,
75 technically.
Okay. And we just need a little bit of break, recalibrate,
Yeah.
come back, make the show bigger and better than ever.
That really makes
more
me-
energy, more
that
guns.
really makes me feel good because I was thinking, gee, man, I came on the show and ratings were going up, and now all of a sudden, we're going on hiatus. I
Yeah.
thought, maybe they didn't like me.
We just we like to obfuscate things, Alan. We didn't want to be like it's because
Yeah.
of Alan. We're trying to
Yeah, all the
Alan.
complaints we're getting are you guys should not have
like,
a real life snowman
people-
on the show. He's going to melt.
The
And so-
the criticisms are he's too snowy. There's too much snow on your show.
Too much man. Actually, is what I'm hearing a lot. He's just too much man for me.
Weird.
But very weird, very weird. We're gonna have who are we having on later?
we're having
Terrible. Tyler Green.
Yep. Corporal Tyler Green.
That's correct. He wanted me specifically to mention that he's a corporal.
Yeah, he said
Not sure
if you
why.
could emphasize corporal.
Yeah. And I was like, yes, Corporal Tyler Green.
Right.
But he is a conservation agent from Missouri. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we're going to have Mike Cloud on. He's the owner of Cloud's Meat Processing. We're going to talk deer processing. We're going to talk deer hunting, regulation, laws, all that stuff. Maybe mention some cool stories. See if you need to check if a deer is vaccinated or not before you shoot it. I'm kind of curious with COVID
Right.
going around.
Well, I'm curious to find out.
Mike is also the maker of Cloud's Meat Sticks. I just want to mention that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that is the best invention since sliced bread.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So delicious.
Sliced bread, Cloud's meat stick, sandwich. Ooh. See, I'm like
Wow.
the 6-7 degrees of separation of Kevin Bacon, but with sandwiches.
That's cool. I do want to remind you,
Yeah.
again, this is the second time I'm doing this.
Right.
It's the gun shop show, not the sandwich shop show.
That's why I'm going to spin off. Doing a spin-off show.
You're gonna have
it's
the
the gun.
sandwich?
It's the gun and sandwich shop show where I talk about guns and sandwiches. It's going to be
Weird.
thrilling. But
or you can make sandwiches out of guns.
I could.
Like
how
you
about
have like
how about gun-shaped bread and sandwiches?
I think you just solved world hunger.
I think I did.
I don't know how I feel about putting gun-shaped bread in my mouth.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
Right.
it would be a bit awkward.
Yeah, right. And it
Depending
wouldn't-
on which end of the gun you're eating
speaking,
first.
ergonomically speaking,
let's
it
just
wouldn't
move
be
on.
practical.
Yeah.
So we're talking
But
about hunting.
let's say. Sorry, go ahead.
We're talking about hunting. We're talking about deer season. One thing a lot of people don't know about one of our best sponsors and a kind of a service that I really feel strongly for because I think it's such a necessary service.
Yeah.
That's U.S. Law Shield. They're legal defense for your self-defense. But what people don't know is that they also have they also have legal defense for hunting-related accidents.
Correct.
A lot of people don't know about that. So if you sign up for a membership, you have the opportunity to, one, select multi-state. So if you're hunting in more than one state, you're going to want to get that. And also hunting or maybe hunting and fishing accidents, I think, you can select protection for that. So if there's a hunting-related accident, you accidentally shoot a fellow hunter or something like that, as long as it's not heinous, or maybe you're accidentally trespassing or something like that, they'll make sure and cover you. We are running a promo right now. If you go to uslawshield.com, click join now, you're going to use the promo code LibertyTree, get you 14 months for the price of 12 months. It's a fantastic service.
Bargain.
For sure. I definitely implore all of you to go check it out at least, see what they offer. We'll be right back. We'll have Tyler Green on. We'll talk about some deer hunting.
Let's have some fun.
The Gun
Gun
Shop
Shop Show.
Meow meow meow. Meow 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 meow. Meow meow meow. 4 easy steps to buying a gun. Step 1. Go to Liberty Tree Guns. Find your perfect gun from our wide selection of new and used firearms. Step 2. Call your significant other. Gain approval of your purchase. Step 3. Realize that you are a strong, confident individual. No one tells you what to do. Step 4. Check out Pay It All Now or 10% down with 90 days to pay using our Freedom Buyers Club. Buy and sell used and new guns, ammo, and more. Liberty Tree Guns, across from Lowe's in Carthage, or visit us online at libertytreeguns.com.
Our member is involved in a brief road rage incident. One driver cuts off another in traffic, and harsh words and gestures soon follow. After the pleasantries are exchanged, our driver goes on his way, assuming the incident is over. However, still agitated, the other driver calls 911 and reports our member as aggressive, possibly having seen a weapon in his hand. In reality, what he saw was our member flipping him the bird. In an incident that can only be described as an overreaction by officers, our member is pulled over. When officers learn that he carries a legal concealed firearm, they arrest him despite a lack of evidence. This incident is just one of numerous member experiences. Be aware when traveling with a firearm. Any aggressive actions made by you, right or wrong, can land you in jail. Don't let it happen to you.
Talk about it. What? Yeah. Here we go. 44,000 business cards. I said 44,000 business cards. I said 44,000 business cards. Instead of 44. Crap. 44,000.
We're Dirt Road Comedy, and when we're not traveling around in our luxurious RV, we like to listen to the Gun Shop Show.
Welcome back to the Gun Shop Show. We are joined now by Corporal Tyler Green. He is a Missouri Department Conservation Agent. Tyler, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Of course, anytime. We figured with deer season fast approaching that we'd get someone on. We could talk about deer hunting, tagging deers, and all the regulations and rules that'll go along with that. So, my first question, and I think it on everyone's mind, how is deer season looking this year? Population good, growing, going to be lots of deer available?
Yeah, stable here. No major news to report. Statewide, it's you can check in statewide, but here we're doing just fine, and things are cruising right along. We're going to start archery season up here September 15th. But hunting season's already started. Dove season just started, which a lot of people don't realize. But we've got it going now.
So I got a question I want to get out of the way
Well-
real early.
Okay.
So I'm driving on the highway. When do I need to start watching for deer movement so that I don't hit them with my
That's a good
truck?
question.
You know, because I know they start moving before season, right?
Right, yeah. Get a ton of calls on deer hit on the road, especially approaching the rut. So the rut would occur just depending on your part of the state. But down here, it's generally October, November, into December. But, they're getting hit.
So I got
Oh.
about another month before I can
Well,
before I should start slowing down. And
Always pay attention, of course. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're going to really start moving here soon.
I have to ask, you use the word rut. I'm not exactly sure I know what that means.
That's just the deer mating season. That's
Okay.
when it
What a
all-
strange word for mating season.
Wow, wow.
We call that spring break around here. Sorry to make it weird. So September 15th starts bow season.
That's right.
That's much sooner than I imagined. We were talking about it. And we're like, is it too soon? Is it too soon?
Well-
and I don't think it's too soon.
Rifle season's a couple months away, but
right.
yeah.
Right. But we can help
Depending.
people out with their bow needs, right? We got their backs on the bows.
Actually, we do have some bows on our website, some crossbows, some Raven crossbows, and some broadheads and stuff too. Just weird, oddball stuff that you don't think we would have, but we do have.
Is there a crossbow or a bow brand called Robin Hood?
No,
Okay.
not that I know of.
Sorry to derail. But that's my job here,
but-
folks.
Going along with deer crossing and deer movement and whatnot, I do have a question. Why do they always have deer crossings in like the busiest roads? Why can't they move it somewhere where there's no cars?
Yeah, I know. They should be more considerate of that and
what
not
really-
let the deer cross,
Just have them cross somewhere else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
deer should cross where it's not so busy.
I have seen some more. They've had like life bridges that are bridges
Yeah.
that go over the road that are kind of grassy, and I don't know how they get the deer or the animals to use that, but we need more of those.
You see more of those like out west where
Yeah.
the big game is big game.
Oh, yeah.
Elk and moose and,
Right.
and they do a lot of bad damage.
Yeah, I didn't realize how like exceptionally large moose are,
Right.
but they're like almost sometimes they can be like bus size. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet. I mean, seeing one in life, probably not. A picture versus life, not
No.
doing it any justice.
No, they're massive.
Maybe this isn't. You're not the guy to ask this, and you can tell me this. But if you do hit a deer, I know I was recently talking to a young lady who's afraid to drive on the highway at night because she's afraid she might hit a deer. Could you speak to the odds of deers crossing the road in the dark? Is that rare? Is it happen a lot?
The major time is dawn and dusk.
Oh, okay.
When they're the most active. I mean, nighttime obviously you can't see as well, so that's why there's a big correlation. But I've had them jump out at me at the middle of the day too. So
Right.
It happens, but use your brights. Just drive slower.
Yeah.
You're going through an area with a lot of deer movement and good habitat for deer, and that'll usually solve your problems. I've hit
Right.
I think 3 or 4 deer, and I've just driving slow enough. I didn't really damage my
Yeah.
vehicle.
So if I hit a deer, can I take that deer and have it processed, or what should I
Is
do
it yours
if I
to
hit
keep?
a deer?
Yeah, we all obviously want to salvage any kind of wildlife that's died, and so if it's in good enough shape and you get to it and it doesn't get dragged away by the scavengers, you can give us a call. You can call the sheriff's office even, and they'll give us a call, or you can find our phone numbers in the deer pamphlet that's out in stores right now where they sell permits, and we'll be happy to talk to you and see if we can get that deer used.
So Trevor,
Yeah.
we may need to start looking for some deer alongside of the road and
I see a lot.
I don't know, man.
get Logan's chili recipe.
Yeah,
Have us a big chili.
Right.
I see a lot of deer in the morning around like 5:30 on the highway. Like
Well, that's
a
your
decent
fault.
amount.
That's your fault for being out driving around at 5:30
Yeah.
in
I gotta
the
work
morning.
though.
You
Right.
know?
Like it's gotta make a living.
He's got to pay for those guns somehow, man.
Yeah.
Kind of a ridiculous question, but just please entertain it for me. Can you bring a deer to be processed that's alive?
No. Because you shouldn't be in possession of a live deer.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. It just crossed my mind.
That sounds like something I would ask, man.
Yeah.
But like you hit a deer and it's not completely dead.
Kind of like in Tommy Boy where they hit the deer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
in the back
exactly.
seat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, probably better make sure it's dead first.
Yeah. Take a pulse or something.
That's good advice. Especially if you're going to put it in the back of your vehicle.
With hunting season coming up, we were talking before the show about some hunter safety courses and some different things that are coming up with Department of Conservation. You want to talk about those a little bit?
Sure. To take hunter education, you need to be at least 11 years old. So I think we're all
Check.
yeah.
Good.
And need to be that age when the course actually starts. And then just go online, or you can call our offices and find dates, find locations. It's really pretty simple nowadays. I remember when I took it, it was, I think, a required 10-hour course, and just all in a classroom and all from the book. But we've changed our format a little, where some of it's online and some of it,
Oh, that's good.
some of it's, or the second part of it is actually hands-on in class. So it seems to be working really well, and that's hunter education is one of our strongest programs, I think. It's so important too, because obviously our future of hunting and gun ownership depends on everyone's safety. So
So
For sure.
if you have to be at least 11 to take the course, is there an age that it's not required to get a hunting license?
yeah, if you're born, okay, not to mess this up, January 1st, 1984, if you're born before then, you are grandfathered in.
Hey guys, grandfathered in.
Hey, me too, Alan. Believe it or not. Yeah, I predate that.
Yeah.
Logan, not so much.
Not so
No,
much.
I've already taken my
much.
course though and did all
I think
that.
he just graduated
I
out
actually
of,
did that
from
at-
pureed food.
I'm pretty sure it was at the old cabin shop way back in the day.
Well,
Because I had to leave basketball practice to go to this like 2 or 3 times. I took a test.
Well, I think it's important
The test was really easy.
to take that course for young hunters and even for not so young hunters.
Yeah.
We get a lot of people asking about CCW classes.
Yeah.
But I think the hunter safety course is just as important, even if you're not planning on hunting, learning gun safety and
Yeah.
learning how to handle the gun. And, I think those types of things are very important. So,
For sure. Especially
Agreed.
if you're going to be using a firearm to kill something.
yes.
Okay.
Hey.
What's up?
That's good first segment.
It was. We'll be right back. Stay with us on the Gun Shop Show.
Hey, podcast listeners and live stream viewers. I wanted to let you know that the Gun Shop Show is made possible by our friends at Mid-America RV. Being in the customer service industry, I have a really high standard for how customers are treated. Mid-America RV does it right. I've got my RV through their dealership, and I've taken it all over the country. We made it to South Padre Island. We've gone to Colorado several times. And if you've ever owned an RV, you know there's a lot that comes with it. So who you get it from matters, and it's extremely important that you have support after the sale. They're located just outside of Carthage. They have a really vast inventory, and they are home of, I believe they call it a forever warranty. So I urge you, if you're in the market for one, to check them out. It's a really fun and can be very affordable way to get your trips in. So visit them at midamericarv.com. We appreciate their support of the Gun Shop Show. If you're in the market for a travel trailer or fifth wheel, check out Mid-America RV.
Game wardens have seen it all. Learn from them. How in the world does a dog shoot a man when proper safety is completely ignored? For example, a Texas hunter was shot and killed by his own dog. With the safety off, the dog stepped on his loaded shotgun in the bed of his pickup truck. Somehow, his paw got in the trigger guard and discharged the shotgun. Tragically, the 46-year-old math teacher was struck in the thigh and died. A hunter in Minnesota was shot in the leg when his dog jumped aboard his boat. And a bulldog in Florida shot his owner while they were driving to a hunting spot. Believe it or not, these astonishing cases are all true, and game wardens have seen it all. Hunters and anglers, that is why we are so pleased to announce our brand new series of exciting events featuring retired game wardens and experienced lawyers who hunt, whose sole purpose is to keep you safe on the hunt or on the water and on the right side of the law. Each event is designed to give hunters and anglers the essential law that they need to stay out of trouble, plus provide the opportunity for real questions and answers from these highly trained professionals in a fun and interactive manner. If you hunt, fish, or love someone that does, you owe it to yourself to attend. Best of all, it's sponsored by your friends at Texas Law Shield, so you know it will be great. As always, stay armed, stay educated, and register for a sportsman law seminar today.
Hey everybody, Eli here, and I'm really excited to tell you that the Gun Shop Show is brought to you by one of my favorite places on earth. Located here in my hometown of Carthage on the beautiful historic square, the Emporium on the square, and the Woodshed. It's a art gallery, an event center, a gift shop. They have art classes, and there's very unique Americana artwork from famous artists like Andy Thomas. They handle a lot of his originals. Framing just has this incredible old school vibe, and you can feel the history coming through. Have to check out the art gallery, but then as you work your way to the back, my favorite part, the Woodshed, had a lot of great meals in here. They've got burgers. I love their catfish. Excellent. Chicken and waffles even. It's incredible. And it's also a music venue, so we got to see my favorite band of all time, the Ben Miller Band. Ceiling was literally raining down. They were rocking so hard. But the best thing, owned by one of my favorite people on earth, that's Cherry Babcock. Check out the Emporium on the Square and the Woodshed.
If I wasn't watching the Gun Shop Show, I wouldn't be as cool as I am.
Welcome back to the Gun Shop Show. How's everyone doing?
I'm super.
Good?
I'm super. Thanks for asking.
Tyler was just mentioning how tall he was, and it reminded me how short I am.
Yeah.
So dealing with that right now.
I'm pretty sure if you two stand next to one another, you average out in height.
We're not going to do that.
Or won't we?
We don't have a camera that can
to
cover the distance.
Oh yeah. Too wide a field of view.
Yeah.
So hey, I wanted to speak a little bit to the hunter safety thing. When I think it was in 7th grade or 8th grade, I can't remember. We had a hunter safety course as a part of our health class or PE class. And I didn't grow up in a home with guns. It wasn't until I was 18, 19 that I joined the military and learned any sort of safety there. But I can tell you that what I took away from that class, I still remember to this day, especially the safety elements of it and how to carry a firearm in a safe manner so that you don't put anyone around you in jeopardy. So even like for me, for someone who didn't grow up in a household that was going to go out and go hunting, or we didn't keep guns in the house, it made a difference to me, especially once I came here and worked at the gun store, that I had that sitting in the back of my mind, that little puddle of information just waiting to be used.
Yeah, keeping that muzzle pointed in a safe direction. We hammer that home when we teach.
And never pointed at anything that you don't intend to shoot.
Always assume the gun is loaded.
Yep.
Exactly. Make sure that what is behind what you're shooting at is clear also.
So there's 4 the basic rules, correct, for gun safety.
Yeah, I mean,
what are those rules? Quizzing you.
I feel like we just listed them.
I always something like those. I know the most important one is keep your muzzle pointed in a safe direction.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what a muzzle is, which I imagine your listeners do, but it's what I call the business end of the gun. If it's pointed in a safe direction, really,
that's me, business end of the gun.
nothing bad can happen.
A lot of false confidence out there with regard to folks who handle firearms, and I'd like to speak to those people at this point. Like, you may not be wrong until you're wrong, and then when you're wrong, it's too late. So it's better to just. I mean, Logan will tell you he'll clear a gun 10 times before he'll do anything with it, and he knows it's empty. It's like, it's empty, but I'm going to clear it anyway.
I just like being extra sure.
Oh, you also like that John Wick vibe it gives you too. Don't lie. It's a little tingle up your spine. I've seen you.
It's just I don't know. It feels like a habit at this point. If I pick up a gun, I just make sure it's unloaded.
Right on. But anyway, it's just.
Like 10 times.
I just want to underscore the importance of that people who feel are the ones who think that they're squared away aren't necessarily as squared away as they think they are. So it's better to be overly
That
conscious.
reminds me. Yeah, and even if you are an expert, you still need to make sure you follow those basic gun safety rules. There was a video circulating around where there was an instructor doing some shooting drills with one of his clients or whatever, and it got pretty dangerous really fast. Have you guys seen this video?
Is this the one where the two dudes are back
Yes.
to back spinning around and one of them behind them shoots the hat off the other?
Can you find that video?
I can try to find it, yeah.
Have you seen this?
I've not.
I've seen it.
My heart dropped. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
You seen it, Alan?
I have seen it.
I
You know,
showed-
and we have people come in here, and obviously they're carrying. They come in, and I mean, if you come into this store and you unholster your weapon, you better be ready to get a lot of fire coming down on you, because
Literal.
it is not allowed to have your gun unholstered with it being loaded in our store.
No.
If you're going to bring a gun in, we ask that you want to show it to us, unload it out in the parking lot, bring it in unloaded. The first thing we're going to ask you is we're going to ask you to check to make sure that it is cleared. Then we'll look at it. But don't come in with a loaded gun and not expect to get somebody to yell at you.
For sure. We're just trying to be safe here.
We're trying to be safe.
We're not trying to be jerks or anything like that. But if you want to show us a gun, just keep it casual and safe. Just be like, hey, I have a gun. I might want to trade. It is loaded. All we're going to say is, hey, can you go outside real quick, unload it, bring it back in? That's it. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
But we just try to be as safe as possible here to minimize as many accidents as
It's the
possible.
right thing to do.
For sure.
When you look at gun ownership and hunting and the things we do have, being safe, not having these incidents where people are getting accidentally shot, that only goes to help our cause, only goes to help us keep hunting as a heritage in Missouri. We teach hunter education to keep these accidents from happening, these incidents, and just to help our heritage continue and help to use hunting as a wildlife management tool as well. And same with gun ownership.
Yeah, a lot of people don't view hunting as a wildlife management tool. They just view it as you're killing an animal. But yeah, it's for sure. Certain populations, especially the deer population, can definitely overrun an ecosystem and ruin it.
We were talking about roadkill. Yeah, I mean, where deer are not controlled, and especially in some of the more suburban neighborhoods or even urban populations of deer, they can get really out of hand and get hit on the roads or do damage on crops or plants or nurseries, those sort of things.
Do you have any numbers or statistics on how much damage deer do to vehicles yearly?
That'd probably be more like a insurance question.
I gotcha. I guess that makes sense.
I don't know.
I was just curious. I knew it was.
We'll have that insurance guy on when we do the show.
Oh, you found it.
Deer kill.
I do think that I saw or heard something that there was like 1 million deer hit last year or something ridiculous like that.
I don't recall.
It was a large. It was a large
big
number. It was a huge number.
Is that nationwide, I guess?
Yeah, nationwide.
Yeah.
I have to confirm that though, because I'm probably wrong. It's probably less than that, but who knows?
You want to play this?
Yeah, let's play this.
Okay.
Tyler, check this out. It's crazy.
Yeah, that dude just about bit the dust.
Like, and that guy he's an instructor. He's the expert at the course.
The guy,
and even
the guy shooting was the expert.
Mm-hmm. The one in the uniform.
That's good.
Yeah,
was the instructor. Yeah, like even him, that's supposed to be the expert,
right?
Needs to make sure he's paying attention and following common sense.
Exactly,
not common sense per se, but just your common gun laws.
So
not
be
gun laws,
overly
gun,
safe.
Tyler,
gun safety.
get back to deers a little bit.
Sure.
Deers.
So I see a lot of purple posts out on along the roads. What does that exactly mean? If you could explain that to our listeners.
Sure.
What does the purple post signify on that property?
Sure. In Missouri, we have the purple paint law, as we refer to it, and that just basically means no trespassing without having to put up a sign that says no trespassing. There are some some more details within that law, the size of the panel of paint, and how far apart they're spaced. But generally, everyone who hunts and is looking for land to hunt, they should know that purple paint means no trespassing.
So if I'm out and I shoot a deer and I'm tracking my deer, is it legal for me to track my deer within that property, or do I need to contact or find out who the property owner is, get permission to track that wounded animal into that area?
Yeah, that's a very common question. Retrieving your game does not allow you to trespass in Missouri. And so that's best that you discuss that with your neighbors beforehand. Say, hey, if I get a deer that crosses over, and that's a good reason to be a good neighbor and keep your neighbors involved. And so, that way there's kind of a standing order of, hey, yeah, you can go across, or just let me know, give me a call if you're going to go across and get your deer, or, tell them where you're hunting, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So are there some state land areas here in Southwest Missouri where someone can go and deer hunt on state land, not necessarily private, but public lands that are set aside for that?
Yeah. We have conservation areas throughout the state, and especially here in Southwest Missouri, and the ones closer to town here, to kind of the Joplin area, a lot of those are archery muzzleloader only, just because of the pressure they receive. But you get a little farther out, and then you run into where you can use rifle as well, and during rifle season. But there's a lot of opportunity, and so it's up to the hunter to look around and see what they can do.
On the Gun Shop Show.
Land is everything to me. When I was born, I was brought home to the family farm, was raised, learned work ethic there, learned appreciation and respect for life and the land itself, and it just became second nature. I had to be there all the time. Whenever I wasn't on the land, I was not happy. But I learned to understand the land, learned to respect it, learned family values. My wife and I have bought a farm besides the one we live on, and it has just been a great investment, and it's been someplace that my son and I have shared the passion of hunting together. And it's just land has been everything in my life. It has kind of kept me focused and gave me a place to be. It's kind of kept me grounded.
Hey, you know what makes this, the Gun Shop Show, possible? It's people who believe in the show. And someone who has believed in the show from the very beginning is my good friend Chris Chapman, owner of Whitehead Farm Supply. Here's a message from Chris.
Guys, my name's Chris Chapman, owner of Whitehead Farm Supply, and I just want to take a few seconds here to let you know that we are going to be proud sponsors of the Gun Shop Show, and we appreciate everything that them guys are doing over there, and we just want to show them our support. Thank you.
So whether you have 2 chickens or 2,000 acres, Chris is your man. Give him a call. I guess that's pretty much the ad.
Whitehead Farm Supply.
Seriously?
Always.
Hi, I'm Eli Pagginson. When I'm not fighting red flag laws, playing games, or writing, I'm listening to The Gun Shop Show.
You're going to want to wear orange underwear, too, when you're hunting, for
all
sure.
I wear.
For sure. Oh, welcome back to the Gun Shop Show.
Mm-hmm.
We were just discussing some orange and
Jumpsuit
why you should
undies.
wear it when you go hunting. Alan, you had a question for Tyler?
So on those public lands, how does that work? Is it first come, first serve? or I get out there with a bigger gun, so I get that I get to hunt that area, and whoever shows up later has to leave.
The man with the biggest
how's that
stick.
work?
I think a furious game of slaps has taken place before.
Maybe
anyone gets to take it.
Rochambeau.
Ooh, I like that.
I could probably get down with some Rochambeau.
Yeah, that those sound like great ideas.
We're idea guys.
So how does that work, Tyler?
It is kind of first come, first serve. A lot of times people will hunt with stands, and so they'll put up a stand in a tree. They have to have it removed after a certain time, but that's generally how it works. Now you get into rifle season, and where people just they walk through the woods looking for deer. You just try not to run into each other. So
is there a way, like if I go into the woods, is there a way that I can like signify, hey, there's somebody in here? Is there, can I put a flag out there, or is there a way that hunters would know that, hey, there's somebody else in here, or is it just kind of by chance?
Well, hunter orange is obviously the best way to show that you're walking through the woods. And in Missouri, we require a hunter orange hat, hunter orange vest, or shirt or coat of some sort, and that usually does the trick, especially when the woods are kind of brown in the November season, and hunter orange doesn't look like anything else in nature, and so it's kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. But people might get mad at you if you went through waving your arms and yelling, and here I am. You might get some problems there, but no, it getting there early, you'll probably have a light, and so that'll help with that. But hopefully you can find a place to go where it's not real busy and real crowded.
Yeah, well, I also have a question. I know that it's something that is, I don't know if it's a big problem in Southwest Missouri or not, but deer poaching. Does that generally take place before the season when people are out and they see that, that big buck that they want to take and they want to get it before the season starts? Is deer poaching a big problem here in Southwest Missouri?
I wouldn't call it a big problem, but it's certainly a problem that we address. Different places have different problems, and it's cyclical too. It usually revolves around certain people and certain maybe age groups sometimes. And so it ramps up for sure when deer are in the rut and the antlers are on, and they're a little dumber. They're looking for love, and so they're more likely
in all the right places.
They're more likely to stand there and not pay attention to somebody. So
do you have any good deer poaching stories? Like some crazy, I've got one from where I grew up. There were a lot of deer, and there were some brothers that the game wardens came out and said, hey, we have reports that somebody's poaching deer in this area. And they're like, oh, no. Well, here comes the dog running around the corner of the house with a deer leg bone. And they investigated, and I believe they found something like 18 deer hanging in their barn.
Oh, my.
Yikes. Oh, my.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Yeah, I'd say that's evidence.
Yeah.
The thing that drives me, it makes me the most mad is when farmers or landowners will find deer carcasses with their heads chopped off on their land. And I had one of those kind of a poaching ring going on when we're at one of the last locations I worked, not in Jasper County, but that went on for a couple weeks, and finally I was able to catch him. Got into pursuit, and I eventually caught up to him, which was great, and I'm so happy to kind of move that along. But mistakes are made, lessons are learned. We move on. That the kids involved with that got along with them great after that. I think that we just came to an understanding, and I think they definitely heard from the landowners that they were poaching on that you just don't do that.
So they were chopping the heads off and leaving the bodies?
They were just essentially just trophy hunting.
Looking for the antlers, huh?
Yeah, wasting the meat, which usually drives people crazy.
Right, for sure.
What is the penalty for poaching?
Death. Becoming best friends with the Missouri Department of Conservation is what it sounds like.
Well, you can lose your vehicle, correct?
Well, it depends on how bad it is.
Yeah.
It depends on what's involved. There are cases where vehicles have been seized and that sort of thing, but it happens very infrequently, but guns are taken sometimes, and fines and that sort of thing. Court costs add up, and it's just not worth it. Do it right, do it legally, do it when you're supposed to do it, and take young people with you, teach them the right way, and we'll keep hunting the way it is.
For sure.
Do you guys have any more questions about the hunting stuff?
I do have one.
Okay.
So if I have this hunting location and it's really good, I know there are a lot of deer out there, but I want to put out a little food plot. What's the Missouri regulations on food plots and baiting? Can I throw out a salt block out there so that I get those deer standing right? I'm not nearly as good a shot as Logan is, so I need all the help I can get. So if I can get them closer to my stand, it's the better. So is that legal in Missouri?
Well, no, baiting is not illegal. It's not legal in Missouri. You in counties where chronic wasting disease isn't a thing, you can feed deer throughout the year, but then before season you have to have it all cleaned up or before you go hunting, I guess.
How long before season do you have to have it cleaned up?
Well, you have to have it removed 10 days prior to the day you hunt.
That's not a long time, seemingly. I feel like the pattern of behavior can be created quite a while before you take that away.
Yeah, it's kind of a compromise. You don't want to take those places away from hunters who are going to do it right. But food plots, awesome. Do that, and because other wildlife will use a food plot, and it's kind of what we should be about as hunters, is seeing the whole big picture. The whole ecological picture, and being helping everything, not just the deer, the turkey, whatever you're after, and putting out some corn day before you go hunting. That's not exactly a sportsman thing to do.
Yeah.
No. Do you hunt?
I do. Yeah, I've hunted about everything. My favorite is probably upland game, quail, pheasants. If I go north, I'll pheasant hunt or rabbits. I enjoy that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Do you have any edge being in the Missouri Department of Conservation?
Every now and then I'll be on an area and I'll hear some quail whistle, or just say, I'll file that back in the old brain and try that later.
I would assume being in touch with nature. I'm assuming you spend a lot of time in nature.
Yeah. I do. I love floating. I love fishing. I love hunting. Even hiking. The non-consumptive use is is hiking and bird watching. That stuff's becoming very popular.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to have a gun, and you don't have to go fishing to use our outdoors.
I recently went down to Roaring River State Park and got to see the spring where the water, or where the river is fed. A lot of trails up through. Can you call them mountains? I don't know if you can.
Ozark Mountains.
Ozark Mountains. Okay, so a lot of trails up through there. Really gorgeous place. What would you say your average day is like as a conservation agent?
Well, that's kind of the beauty of it. I sometimes just don't know. Days like this, I drive around a little, look for dove hunters, and then come in to do an interview, and then my phone might ring later today with something big going on, and I might go on that. But a lot of times I'll just go where the phone leads me, go where the people lead me, and just go. That's kind of the fun part of it.
The nomad of professions.
Completely forgot. Dove season opened yesterday.
Yeah,
is that right? September 1st. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize that dove mate for life.
Yeah.
And so the first time I went hunting, I only shot one, and then they told me that, and I just can't do it. It just broke my heart.
Oh, because you let. Well, what are the chances you're going to get the loved one of that dove, though?
Probably pretty high.
Oh, really?
If you only shoot one.
They're like,
I only
Billy.
shot one.
Wifey comes out after it.
Yeah, looking.
Yeah.
It just broke my heart.
Yeah, you shouldn't humanize the animals. That makes it harder for you.
Yeah,
they're not humans.
They're people too.
So
deep down,
talking about dove hunting, I know that it's a little bit different because you have to use steel shot if you're hunting on state property.
Areas. Yeah, we've started acquiring a few areas around here, statewide too.
Oh, cool.
To use non-toxic shot, but there's still a bunch of areas that you can use lead as well, and you just got to do some research on them.
around here, Talbot out east of Carthage here, it's required that you use steel.
Yes.
So lead shot out because of the toxic nature. Because when you shoot the dove with it, the people eating it are getting
for the land and everything.
Well, that seemed kind of
lead is
obvious.
toxic. Lead is toxic to humans as well.
But I would
in
think,
higher
why would you
doses.
shoot your animal with toxic ammunition?
Yeah, Trevor, we should take you dove hunting.
Hunting is a blast.
You guys don't want to see me dove hunt, all right?
It is a blast.
No pun intended.
You shoot a lot, yeah. You shoot a lot.
I shoot a lot and I don't hit much, so it's pretty much a normal day, right?
It's like clay pigeon shooting, but harder.
Oh, really?
It really
Harder?
separates
Pretty
the
much.
good shots from the not so good shots.
Hey, you guys want to see me fly?
Maybe Trevor could bring some sandwiches and some snacks.
All right. Yeah.
Extra shells.
You know
for
how
us.
much I love sandwiches so much. I'm taking them dove hunting with me. Guys, sandwiches don't get to go everywhere.
You know what?
Yeah.
Had an idea. Dove sandwiches.
Oh.
Sounds
I like.
pretty
How
good.
about the Dove Sandwich Shop?
I don't know.
Oh, you're out on the sandwich shop. Can't sustain a life on Dove.
People are always asking me, Eli, you seem to get the best deals on things. What is your secret?
Glory actions and estate sales.
Trevor, I appreciate you jingling, but I have to say the ad part first because people need to know about the company.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to do
And then also, it's it's covering up my face. So just get a picture like from their Facebook page because that's the best place. And then just put it right up here where the Gun Shop Show logo is. Okay.
All right. I'll do better this time.
And so let me finish the ad and then you can jingle. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the best place to go is their Facebook page.
Oh, glory actions and estate sales.
You know what? Fine. I'll just move in between the graphics and finish telling people that the best place to find out when
Old Glory auctions and estate sales. I think I got it that time, man.
Our member's girlfriend is on her way to pick up her kids from her ex-husband's house. She asked our member to tag along because of her ex's temper. As they arrive at the home, her ex emerges yelling and gesturing. He approaches his ex-wife and grabs her, attempting to drag her inside. Fearing for her life, our member, a trained CHL holder, jumps out of the car with his gun drawn and demands the ex-husband release her. Seeing the gun, the assailant retreats. The situation then takes a bizarre turn as the assailant dials 911 to report our member. As a result of the aggressor's lies, our member was wrongfully arrested. Our member had to undergo lengthy legal proceedings. However, he was ultimately cleared of all charges.
Buckle up, because belts just got better. With Core Essentials, the perfect fit every time. With 40 plus sizing positions. Styles for any situation. Whether in the boardroom crushing sales and taking names, on your next adventure, in the great outdoors, or when you're done for the day and ready to relax. Get your perfect fit with Core Essentials.
4 easy steps to buying a gun. Step 1. Go to Liberty Tree Guns. Find your perfect gun from our wide selection of new and used firearms. Step 2. Call your significant other. Gain approval of your purchase. Step 3. Realize that you are a strong, confident individual. No one tells you what to do. Step 4. Check out Pay It All Now or 10% down with 90 days to pay using our Freedom Buyers Club. Buy and sell used and new guns, ammo, and more. Liberty Tree Guns. Across from Lowe's in Carthage, or visit us online at libertytreeguns.com.
The Gun Shop Show costs money to make, and the Gun Shop Show is brought to you by pecans and cheese. Not really. Actually, we didn't have any sponsors for this segment, and so I decided that I would take a snack break, and also, I decided if you guys are tired of listening to me eat cheese and nuts, that you need to buy an ad. So, from now on, if our ad sponsorships don't sell out, you're going to have to listen to me eat nuts and cheese. in order to sponsor the Gun Shop Show, send us an email at thegunshopshow@gmail.com.
Next week, chips.
Hey there. We got your lab results back. It looks like you have a fever, and the only prescription is more Gun Shop Show.
The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. What is it? We don't know. The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. Here we go. It's the Gun Shop Show.
And that's why I think the Chiefs aren't going to make it to the Super Bowl.
Well, I have it on good authority that they won't.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Oh, dude, we're doing a show right now.
Oh, we're live? Oh, anyway. Yeah. Hey, what's up?
Welcome
back to the Gun Shop Show.
Chiefs number one.
Hey, I just want to tell you, Tyler, all these questions I'm asking are all hypothetical. I am very legal.
I don't like how this sounds.
Legal people always say I'm very legal.
I don't like to break the law, so that's why I'm asking these questions.
Right.
I'm not out there doing it.
What do they tell you in school? Like, there's no dumb questions. That like somebody else is thinking the same thing. So
Guaranteed.
There are.
That's pretty much been my thing this entire time.
There are dumb questions.
So I don't want you staking out my house and tracking me out to my hunting sites or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what you tell him. Don't do that. Yeah. Criminals are usually like, you don't want to worry about me.
Yeah.
You worry about the other guy.
Yeah.
So I hear that bears are a thing now.
Yeah.
We're going to be hunting them now.
Bears have been a thing for a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, we have a population. It's kind of a range of an estimated range, 500 to 800 statewide. We pretty sure they're coming up from Arkansas and moving up north. So we are having our first bear season in Missouri this October.
Wow, fun.
Look at my notes because it's so new. 400 permits offered, which have already been doled out because they have kind of a drawing for them.
Yeah.
And then the dates are October 18th through the 27th.
Wow, that's not a big window.
Not really.
You got some bear around your house, don't you, Logan?
Yeah.
Down there around Sarcoxy?
Lots of bears, actually. Like a lot of bears.
So aren't your team mascots the bears, isn't it?
That's the joke, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure. I was going to ruin that joke for you there. I'm a joke killer.
But those are bears that you can't hunt, actually.
Yeah.
So
can or can't?
Cannot.
Oh.
Illegal. It's considered murder.
Oh, unless you're elite.
But
they do that stuff.
Whatever.
I have heard that there are quite a few black bears that have been spotted around the Sarcoxy.
There have been. I haven't seen any myself, but I've heard stories. But you know how that is. There's tons of people that have seen Bigfoot. So who knows?
Yeah. Tons of people.
Yeah,
Tons.
Getting more reports all the time. So
bears or Bigfoot?
So just
bears.
Okay. Have you had any reports of Bigfoot? And why are you hiding it?
I have not had any reports of Bigfoot.
That's what I would say if I had seen Bigfoot. So, but back to the bear thing. So they're coming up from Arkansas. Do you guys know why that is?
Just expanding their range. They're doing well down there, and the young males will move into new territory. So the ones we're seeing up here are most likely males.
Immigrants?
Young males, yeah.
They're immigrants.
Looking for love again. Here's that theme.
Yeah. It makes you do crazy
They're
stuff.
looking for love in all the wrong places.
Yeah, Sir Coxie? Logan, you're the local bear down there from what I hear.
So
you know what that means.
if the conservation department estimates 400 to 800 bears in the state and they've issued 400 permits, do they have a number of percentage of people who they think will actually take a bear during the season?
Yeah, it's a quota system. So 400 is not the amount we can take. It's 40.
Oh, okay.
So it's and there's a call-in system, and it's kind of similar to how they do it in other states. You call in before you go hunting, and you can kind of determine how many have been taken. There's also three zones, which we're in zone 3, I think. Yeah, zone 3, and our quota for zone 3 is 5 bears.
Okay, so if you get a permit, you call in and say, "Hey, I'm getting ready to go," and they say, "Nope, somebody's already shot the quota."
Laws already had 5, and so it's pretty hands-on management.
That is interesting because I was imagining like you're trying to half that population, but no, you're taking what, like 5%,
10%.
10. It was 800 bears, right?
It's 5 to 800. It's
okay. Just a rough estimation. You don't actually have anybody out there tagging them.
We do have some, but
I'd call in before I went hunting, tell you just to stop everyone else from hunting because I'm going to fill the quota today.
Call them off. Taking them off.
You guys might as well tell the guys there's no bears left.
So
is that the hunting equivalency of calling it like Babe Ruth or something?
Yeah.
So the other newest hunting season that we've had in the last couple of years is the elk.
Right.
In here, Missouri. Do we have any elk in this area or this region?
Not so much this region. We restocked them over in the what I call the Deep Ozarks, Shannon and Carter and Reynolds County, that kind of area, and that's where our elk season is happening. And they did well last year. I think they harvested 5. There's like an archery portion in October and then a rifle portion in December.
Archery would be difficult.
I think all the elk were taken during the rifle portion.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we were talking. You were mentioning earlier how big a moose is, Logan. Those elk can get pretty big too. I mean, what can they get up to? 1,500 pounds?
I don't even know. I've seen one in person, and it's impressive.
Yeah.
I have to ask something, and this might seem ridiculous.
Okay,
but when's bear hand season?
Bear hands?
What?
When can you take an animal with your bare hands?
Oh,
oh my God.
Closest thing to that we have is the atlatl. You guys know what an atlatl is? Yeah. Can't use an atlatl for bears, though. Fun fact.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know what an atlatl is.
I
genuinely don't.
It's a primitive hunting.
It's kind of like a spear.
Kind of like it's like using a rod to throw your spear.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of looks like a pipe.
So that brings up an interesting question.
Oh, I see.
The different seasons, because we have archery season, we have rifle season, we have black powder season, then we have an other season. What are some of the means that you can use for hunting in that other season? Atlatl,
handguns.
You can use handguns.
Okay, yeah, that'd be the alternative methods.
Alternative methods,
Yes. And that's grouped in with muzzleloader as well. It used to be known as a muzzleloader portion.
Okay.
And so it's just about everything, but high-powered rifle but handguns are allowed, so you can do that.
So anything is allowed as long as it's not a gun?
And shotgun as well.
Like, could you use a baseball bat?
No.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm curious.
What is wrong with you? That's
hey, look, remember when
so
earlier we were
brutal.
talking about how someone else is thinking
city
it?
Boy. City
That's
boy.
me thinking it. Like, you tell me.
folk just don't get it.
City. I've lived in Carthage for like 40 years, man.
Well, that's Carthage is the city.
The big city. We got our first Walmart in 1994 Supercenter.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
When in doubt, give us a call or look in the book, because I don't have that conversation with anybody.
Except me.
About a baseball bat. Just not a good look.
Got a really nice 9-iron, I think, about you.
Well, I mean, if things got dire enough, seriously dire enough, it would be anything that you could get your hands on.
I don't think it would matter at that point.
Yeah.
If you're calling it or anything.
Well, there is a difference
ridiculous.
between hunting and defending yourself.
Right.
So you can defend yourself.
So, like,
out of season.
It's coming
saying
for us.
You're on a hike and a bear decides to attack you.
Yes. Would you like to address that, Tyler?
We have rules in place. If you're protecting your property or life limb,
what if you
your
provoke the animal first?
Well, that's why we always investigate those. So
it's your word against the bears.
You don't need to
go out there wearing your bacon cologne. Here, bear, come on.
Yeah, don't do that.
Oh, sorry to laugh while we're talking about that.
You can get permission to shoot deer out of season if they're damaging your crops and property. You want to talk about that just a minute?
Yeah, we have that in place just in case. It's called a deer depredation permit, and then that's if somebody has crops, say soybeans or something, and they're just getting decimated. But what I will say before I issue one of those, and because it is kind of controversial, because a lot of people say, well, or a neighboring landowner says, I don't have enough deer on my property. Let's not do that. And it's like, well, hunt them in the regular season, take out some does, do some management. If they're being that bad of a problem on your soybeans, invite people to hunt that and give more opportunity. And if they've done that, and if they've tried their best, they're still getting dinged with deer damage, then we'll issue those permits. But I don't take them lightly.
Yeah. But if they were to take them down, you guys would take that into consideration as part of the number taken that year?
Yeah, we count those towards the harvest and kind of see if the deer, and if we're issuing a lot of those permits, it means we have a good deer population.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could liberalize the amount we can take during the season. So
I'm curious, can you tell me, are there any endangered animals in Missouri?
Well, I feel like the quail is, but it's not quite there. But we have the hellbender. You guys heard of a hellbender?
I have not.
Actually, isn't that like a lizard?
It's a salamander, yeah. Lives in the clear Ozark streams, and they are impressive little critters.
Get a picture of one of these. I need to see what it looks like.
It's a dirty looking thing.
Speaking of deer hunting, because of everything going on, are you allowed to hunt unvaccinated deer, or do you have to wait for them to get the vaccine?
You got to test them first.
No comment.
So that's the best answer you could have.
I'm asking the ridiculous questions right here, Logan Jones.
When you go to get a tag, does Missouri have a landowner tag that you can get because you own land?
Yeah.
Talk about tags maybe a little bit.
Real quick, we changed our tagging or our landowner permit system a little bit, where you have to basically register your land if you have 20 acres or more, just because the landowner permits were getting abused a little.
I can see that.
But so it's 20 acres and you have to register it. And after that, you can get your landowner permits for free. And so you can go online or you can talk to an office.
Do you need to have these permits on you at all times when hunting, or could you use like a digital copy?
Well, you can use your phone app.
And that's the Missouri something. I think I have
Mo
it.
Hunting.
Hunting.
Yeah, and you can do everything on that app. But what I would remind people is to have your phone charged.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's really cold, it might die.
Yeah.
If you kill a deer, you're going to need to notch the permit immediately. And if you don't have power on your phone, it's kind of hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so just keep those things in mind.
Well, Tyler, I appreciate you joining us for the show. It's been fun.
My pleasure.
Learned a lot today. Asked some ridiculous questions.
Of course.
We'd love to have you on some other time. Thank you. We'll be right back. Gun Shop Show.
Hey, podcast listeners and live stream viewers. I wanted to let you know that the Gun Shop Show is made possible by our friends at Mid-America RV. Being in the customer service industry, I have a really high standard for how customers are treated. Mid-America RV does it right. I've got my RV through their dealership, and I've taken it all over the country. We made it to South Padre Island. We've gone to Colorado several times. And if you've ever owned an RV, you know there's a lot that comes with it. So who you get it from matters, and it's extremely important that you have support after the sale. They're located just outside of Carthage. They have a really vast inventory, and they are home of, I believe they call it a forever warranty. So I urge you, if you're in the market for one, to check them out. It's a really fun and can be very affordable way to get your trips in. So visit them at midamericarv.com. We appreciate their support of the Gun Shop Show. If you're in the market for a travel trailer or fifth wheel, check out Mid-America RV.
Talk about it. What? Yeah. Here we go. 44,000 business cards. I said 44,000 business cards. I said 44,000 business cards. I said 44. Crap. 44,000.
Hey everybody, Eli here, and I'm really excited to tell you that the Gun Shop Show is brought to you by one of my favorite places on earth. Located here in my hometown of Carthage on the beautiful historic square, the Emporium on the square, and the Woodshed. It's a art gallery, an event center, a gift shop. They have art classes, and there's very unique Americana artwork from famous artists like Andy Thomas. They handle a lot of his original framing. Just has this incredible old school vibe, and you can feel the history coming through. Have to check out the art gallery, but then as you work your way to the back, my favorite part, the Woodshed. Had a lot of great meals in here. They've got burgers. I love their catfish. Excellent. Chicken and waffles even. It's incredible. And it's also a music venue, so we got to see my favorite band of all time, the Ben Miller Band. Ceiling was literally raining down. They were rocking so hard. But the best thing, owned by one of my favorite people on earth, that's Cherry Babcock. Check out the Emporium on the Square and the Woodshed.
Listen here, Pilgrim. This here is the Gun Shop Show.
Welcome back to the Gun Shop Show. Up next, we have on Mike Cloud. He's the owner of Cloud Meat Processing. Mike, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing good today.
A pleasure having you in.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
For sure. With deer season fast approaching, we thought we'd have you on and talk about all the ins and outs of deer processing, what kind of the do's and the don'ts, if you will.
Yes, we feel the important part is make sure that the deer are taken care of, and they're taking them home to their families. So we try to help, even if they're cutting their own deer, we want the hunter to know the best way to take meat home for the family that's safe.
And just so our listeners have a little backstory, you own a local meat company called Clouds Meats, and you serve primarily the Southwest Missouri area, Carthage, Joplin.
Yeah, that's right. We've been in business since '59.
Wow, that's a long time. Wow.
Deer season has become quite we do a lot of deer and make a lot of snack sticks and things like that. So everything that goes with it. Yes.
I do know that if you go out to their shop on Saturday of deer season, you want to plan your trip accordingly, because there will be trucks lined up after trucks,
backed up, huh?
Waiting to get in and drop off their deer. So when you go out there and get some of those beef sticks, or
that's right.
That's my favorite. But burgers and whatever cuts of meat you want to get out there, you might want to plan differently on deer season.
That's right. That's right. We are this weekend. We are widening the lane. Now we're not putting a passing lane in, but we are widening the lane so it can handle rows of traffic.
Good.
So I'm sorry. In a typical season, how many deer would you say you guys process?
Oh, we'll do the deer that with the hide on. I think Michelle gave me the figures today. We did about 1,800, but that's probably only about a half of what we actually do, because we do so many. We call them bucket deer. They come in already boned out, and then we private label for some other deer processors.
Oh, I gotcha. So for our viewers and listeners that don't know, hide on means the deer still has its hide on it?
Yes, that's right. Okay. We prefer, matter of fact, we want all the deer to come in with their wrapper. Let us clean it, let us skin it. We don't charge for that when we process the deer, and that way it's nice and clean. We do it the way, we keep all the hair off of it and things like that. So just leave the hide on and bring it into us.
So I got a question for you, Mike. What do you do with all those deer hides? Is there somebody that buys them and processes them?
We donate them to a couple of organizations, but there's not much of a hide market anymore.
Really?
It's not like it used to be. Same way with beef hides. Yeah.
That seems strange.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what I would do other than like maybe make some wallets or something out of it. That's what you use it for?
That's right. Mainly gloves, deerskin gloves.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No local enthusiasts.
We get a handful of them. They usually do it once.
Really?
And,
and they realize this ain't for me.
This was a lot of work.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So if I bring a deer into you and I want to save, I get a big buck, I want to save the head to have it taxidermied. Will you guys do that also for me?
That's right. We want to take it off. Of course, obviously, let's back up when you shoot the deer. Yeah. Unless you shoot it in the spine or the head, the deer bleeds out inside, so there's no need to cut its throat, and you don't want to cut it.
Sorry to cut you off, but is that a common thing?
Well, most people want to cut their throat, but if you do a heart-lung shot or anything inside the deer, they're going to bleed inside, and so you don't want to ruin that cape, and then you don't want to go past you want to stay within from the tip of the brisket about 4 to 5 inches. Leave the hide intact, and then we'll cape it out from there for the taxidermist. We get it under refrigeration, and then you need to get it picked up as soon as possible, because your taxidermist wants it as fresh as possible.
And what's your typical turnaround on something like that?
Really, we're not. if it's opening day and you come in on Saturday night or especially Sunday night of opening weekend, it might be, we try to push those through, but it'll probably be the end of the next day before we can get to all of them because we'll get so many of them. We do have a deer cooler that the hunters, it's open 24 hours a day. I say that, but try to be in before 10 o'clock at night. And it's self-serve. You bring during bow season, you can just take your deer around back, put it in the cooler, put your name on it, and call us the next business day. And that way your deer isn't under refrigeration, and we'll take care of it the next day.
So let's talk a little bit about when you shoot your deer and you find it dead, what do you really need to do to get that, to keep the deer in the best possible condition as far as field dressing? You said it bleeds inside, to get that blood out of the carcass. So, can you tell us a little bit about?
Yeah, I'd like for them to be field dressed within an hour. The intestines, especially the stomach, but especially the intestines, will start building up a gas. And so you've got about an hour to get those out of there. So if you want to take it home and do it, or if you want to do it right there in the woods, do a good, clean job of it. If you happen to live in the country, once you get home and you're going to clean up and everything like that, just put the garden hose inside, turn the deer upside down, and let the garden hose run. And that 50-degree water will cool that deer down faster than anything. Do not put him in a mountain stream or anything like that because, just don't do that. And then just bring him into the cooler, or if you want to cut it yourself, you want to get that temperature out of there. If you're far away, the investment of 2 bags of ice, shove a bag up in the chest cavity, and then put another bag between the hind legs. That's some real choice meat back there, and it's the thickest part of the deer, and you need to get that cooled down fast. And the quicker you cool it down, the better. Deer do not need to be aged. They do not need to be hung under a tree for 3 days for them to be good. They just treat them like a package of hamburger.
Yeah,
right.
Just get him to you. Look at his split.
Yeah,
that's right.
I've heard stories about people shooting a deer like at 7 a.m. Throwing it in the back of their truck, not field dressing it, driving around, of course, bragging to all their buddies, hey, look at my deer.
Look what I did.
Then showing up, to have it processed at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon after that deer is set there all day.
Yeah,
that's just not acceptable.
Yeah, we joke about the hunters that bring them in not field dressed. They have to be very rich, very wealthy, because there's a substantial charge to us, stopping what we're doing, and because we don't let them lay any longer, then we go ahead and field dress them. So they need to be field dressed, out. And of course, with today's YouTube, anybody can figure out how to field dress a deer.
Right. For sure. Well, you mentioned earlier that you've done a lot to try to educate your customers on the best way to bring a deer to you. You've mentioned several here. We've talked about several here today. Is there anything else that you might be able to offer?
Well, we take in a lot of trim from, people will take it home. They'll cut up their own meat. They want their roast and their loins, but then they want their burger turned into, they either want us to grind the burger, which we can do that, or we can make snack sticks, summer sausage, and everything like that. Nice. On that trim, just zero tolerance on hair. Pick up, make sure it's all clean. Put it in bags, and do not use scented trash bags.
Oh,
yeah. Don't use.
It feels
those.
like a no-brainer, but
yeah. Well, there's a reason I'm saying this. And put them in an ice chest with some ice, but do not float them in ice because if there's bacteria, and there will be bacteria.
We'll be right back.
Yes,
on the Gun Shop Show.
People are always asking me, Eli, you seem to get the best deals on things. What is your secret?
Glory actions and estate sales.
Trevor, I appreciate you jingling, but I have to say the ad part first because people need to know about the company.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to do that.
And then also, it's it's covering up my face. So just get a picture like from their Facebook page, because that's the best place, and then just put it right up here where the Gun Shop Show logo is. Okay.
All right, I'll do better this time.
And so let me finish the ad, and then you can jingle. Okay. All right. So the best place to go is their Facebook page.
Oh, glory actions and estate sales.
You know what? Fine. I'll just move in between the graphics and finish telling people that the best place to find out when
Old Glory auctions and estate sales. I think I got it that time, man.
Land is everything to me. When I was born, I was brought home to the family farm, was raised, learned work ethic there, learned appreciation and respect for life and the land itself, and it just became second nature. I had to be there all the time. Whenever I wasn't on the land, I was not happy. But I learned to understand the land, learned to respect it, learned family values. My wife and I have bought a farm besides the one we live on, and it has just been it's been a great investment, and it's been someplace that my son and I have shared the passion of hunting together, and it's just land has been everything in my life. It has kind of kept me focused and gave me a place to be. It's kind of kept me grounded.
Hey, you know what makes this, the Gun Shop Show, possible? It's people who believe in the show. And someone who has believed in the show from the very beginning is my good friend Chris Chapman, owner of Whitehead Farm Supply. Here's a message from Chris.
Guys, my name's Chris Chapman, owner of Whitehead Farm Supply, and I just want to take a few seconds here to let you know that we are going to be proud sponsors of the Gun Shop Show, and we appreciate everything that them guys are doing over there, and we just want to show them our support. Thank you.
So whether you have 2 chickens or 2,000 acres, Chris is your man. Give him a call. I guess that's pretty much the ad.
Whitehead Farm Supply.
Seriously?
Always.
I'm Lulu, and I watch the Gun Shop Show because all the fellers are handsome.
Those spicy snack sticks, I think, are the best.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Snack
In fact,
sticks.
I was kind of hoping, well, maybe Mike will bring us some of those snack sticks.
Hint, hint.
Yeah.
I
Welcome
should've
back
mentioned
to the
that.
Gun Shop Show. Right before the break, we were talking about, what were we talking about, Mike?
Well, we were talking about bringing in your trim to make sausage, and just don't float it in water. If there's bacteria on the deer or in your ice chest, then if you float it in water, it's all over everything.
Yeah.
So just bag it up and put some ice on it in the bags, and or you can freeze it and bring it in, and we'll thaw it out and we'll work it from there. So just don't float your deer meat. Make sure it's kept very clean, and it'll work out fine. Makes the best product that way.
Your recommendations seem like they come from a history of having or dealing with these sorts of things. I would assume. Do you test the meat for any bacterial growth?
No, because really, when we're making sausage, that will take care of everything. Because what we're doing, we're adding a starter culture, and so then we're cooking it. So we're taking care of all of that.
Gotcha.
And then we test all the meat when it comes out of the smoker, and if it's a certain pH and a certain moisture content, then it's safe. And so we really use everything the same way as we do an under inspection, HACCP, and everything like that, that when we're making our product. And
Awesome.
Same way with our deer in the coolers. We've got 2 outside coolers that the deer stay in under refrigeration until we skin them. And then they go straight into a cold blast cooler that pulls the temperature down fast.
Do you ever get anybody just drop off deer for just they don't want it? They just don't want it. They pass it off to you guys. You clean it and then stick it in your coolers to sell to the general public. So can people go there and just buy deer meat from you?
Okay, that is an excellent question. I've always had a saying: you can either rob banks or sell deer meat, and because they're both illegal. And no, we do have share the harvest. and we give thousands of pounds. Hunters give thousands of pounds, and we at Clouds process it at a discount rate for the Conservation Federation, and so we get a lot of deer that are given to us. We're very picky on that now because sometimes a hunter will decide, I shot this last night and I didn't find it till the next day. I'm going to do share the harvest.
Right.
I don't think it'll be good. Well, they're right. It's not good, and we'll throw it away for them.
Right.
And so we inspect all the share the harvest meat, and it's been a very successful program. So we've always got a place for them to go.
Oh, that's great. And you share the harvest. That organization itself, they feed needy people, I take it, or folks who need sustenance?
Yes. Fairview Christian Church handles all of that.
Oh, okay.
And so they just pick it up, and if somebody wants to call us, we'll just relay them onto Fairview. But it's been a very, very successful program.
That's great.
But at the same time, we're very careful with that meat to make sure that it's nice and safe.
Right. Just because it's going to underprivileged folks doesn't mean it needs to be substandard.
That's right.
So that's excellent that you guys do that. So it's a local program?
Yes, it is. And some people will get a little mixed up, and which last year was a little different. We can no longer take deer meat from out of state, deer or elk. It can come in boneless, but we can't take because of chronic wasting. No Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas deer.
Oh, okay.
And Colorado, we're kind of a closed state now. I don't totally agree with it because we can take care of it the proper way, but they have chose just to shut it all off.
And chronic wasting, that's the disease that you were speaking of earlier, Alan.
Yes.
Wondering if they tested for that.
Yes.
I'm pretty layman on this. Can you explain to me, like I'm 5, what that is?
So, well, Mike, you probably can do it better than me, but it's a disease that affects the deer it kind of makes them deteriorate while they're still alive.
Oh, wow.
They get a bad fever, and they usually go to water, and that's where they die.
Oh.
And unfortunately, that pond is also the same place that all the other deer drink at.
Yeah.
And so it is contagious. The larger population of deer, the larger chance that we're gonna get more of it. So so the hunters need to continue what they're doing. We've got more deer now than we've ever had. When I was growing up many moons ago, it was rare to see a deer. And out in our neighborhood out there with Dino and Precious Moments and everything like that, it's it's not unusual to all see 40, 50 deer in a herd.
Yeah.
It was good to hear Tyler Green, who we had on the show earlier, say that the chronic waste is more east of here than it is in our area yet, but they still think that it could come here.
Oh yeah, definitely. If it's something that spreads through the herd, then guaranteed it's bound to make it this way
at some point.
So can you tell by looking at any of these deer whether or not they have chronic waste?
Oh yes, we check out every deer, and if it gets past the weigh-in stage and somebody doesn't catch it there, my guys that do all the skinning, I don't know how many times Dwayne or I will be called in to check a deer, and we just throw it away.
Yeah.
We'll call the hunter first. We'll put it off to the side, but we just throw it away, and we're losing money because we're not getting a processing bill, but we're by no means want to process anything that's not great, not great food. So,
for sure.
So if you kill one like that, just you're doing it a favor,
right?
And sometimes you can talk to your agent to see if you can get your tag back, especially if we sign off on it.
Right. But there's no way, if you're a hunter, you can't just look at it and see that it's suffering from something.
A lot of people can't. If you're a seasoned hunter, you probably know.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you can count the rib bones, and if the hip bones are sticking out, then just consider you do a good thing, and maybe
mercy.
Yeah, just go off from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about deer meat a little bit.
Let's talk about deer meat.
Oh my gosh. So backstrap, the best, right?
Oh yes, yeah.
Steaks.
The steaks. We don't do as many roasts as we used to. People love the hamburger. We add beef fat to it, and we got a lot of customers that want 50% beef and 50% deer. And
I was going to ask that. What
great
percentage do they-
flavor.
Is there a name for it, like Boston burger?
We got a name for beef and pork, but we just add 50-50 on deer. And once a customer starts that, they're used to that hamburger that's got flavor.
Yeah,
it's just great flavor.
Yeah,
I'm going to throw out a suggestion.
Okay,
Ozark burger.
Ozark burger.
Mm-hmm.
That might work.
Yeah. I mean,
Ozark
throw a little brand on it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a guy. I'm a thinker.
Yeah. Ozark burger. I like that.
We did talk with Tyler a little bit earlier also about deer being hit by cars and whether, you can take it if it's hit by a car. Tell us a little bit about the difference in hitting a deer with a car versus hunting. I mean,
bones are crushed.
Yeah. So there's a lot of deer that are hit by cars that are not salvageable.
That's right. Yeah. If I like it, people will call us, well, I hit it in the head. And but it also broke, everything from the in the front half. And so very few of them are good. We discourage it. Every now and then, people think they're saving and they're getting some food, but when you lose half of it and then pay us the processing bill, it's not a good bargain.
Right.
So what's your favorite way to cook a deer steak?
That's a great question.
Yeah, well, my wife, she loves to hunt deer. But she prefers the burger. She likes the hamburger steak seasoned up. And I do, cut some steaks. We killed one last year, and we bacon wrapped it, and I marinated it, and I cooked it on the big green egg. And you know what? She thought it was good.
I remember.
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing Pat's picture on Facebook with her deer last year.
Well, she. So
you guys are making me hungry.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've been talking about lunch.
I know.
And we, a lot of people make jerky out of the rounds, and I really like Swiss steak.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Okay, we're coming up on a break. We'll continue this conversation when we get back. Stay with us. We got one more segment.
Just one more.
On
The Gun Shop Show.
Show.
We all know that you are more than within your right to shoot an intruder that is in your home. However, what if you do everything right and once the smoke clears, the situation is not quite as it seemed? Well, that is exactly what happened to fellow member Isabella in this story.
So I just put my house on the market because I wasn't living in a good neighborhood and my home had been broken into before. One night, my realtor called and asked to show my home at 6:30. I thought, yeah, this is perfect. I'll go to the gym. When I got home around 8:15, I set the alarm and jumped in the shower. About 5 minutes later, the alarm went off. I rushed out of the shower to grab my gun. As I turned the corner, a man was standing near my front door in all black. I repeatedly yelled at him, "Leave or I'll shoot." Out of the corner of my eye, I saw someone else dart in front of him. He turned towards me, so I shot. Suddenly, I realized the second person was my realtor.
The truth is, you never know how events will unfold. Isabella was not criminally charged, but shortly after she faced a civil lawsuit. With the help of U.S. Law Shield, Isabella was advised through the whole legal process and paid 0 attorney's fees. Remember, criminals never take a vacation. Be armed, stay educated, and get protected with U.S. Law Shield.
The Gun Shop Show, brought to you by Little Old Ladies. They're little.
Welcome back to the Gun Shop Show. Right before the break, we were talking about ways to cook deer and ways to make it good. Mike, if you wanted to continue with your guys' conversation about deer steak. And,
well, just my mother had Swiss steak and I with round steak and boy, making it out of deer makes it even better.
Yeah, one thing that I've seen with cooking deer is that you can't cook it the same way you do beef.
Yeah,
you have to put a little bit of something in there to give it a little bit of take away that wild,
the gamey flavor.
Yeah. Well, now here in Southwest Missouri, we're not feeding many acorns, so they have crops, alfalfa, beans, wheat, everywhere, and so our deer are a lot better, a lot different than they used to be.
Yeah, for sure.
So
it tastes delicious.
There are a lot of different calibers of guns that you can use for deer hunting.
Before we get into that, I had a question for you, Mike.
Yes.
You see thousands of deer every few years, whatever. But my question to you was, tell me the range from like the smallest deer you see to like the monsters.
We like to call the little ones the suitcase deer because you can just kind of fold the legs and carry it like a briefcase.
Yeah.
And, we've done, I think our smallest one was 27 pounds that I can remember.
That's like fresh from the womb.
Yes. Yeah. It, you kind of look for the spots, but, and then the biggest ones, we're seeing a lot of deer, especially in the northern part of the county, that will field dress out, 200 to 215.
Wow.
They're nice deer.
That is a nice deer.
And at a doe can be, you get them up around 135, 140 is a really big doe.
Yeah, I bring this up because a couple years ago, maybe it was last year. I think it was a couple of years ago. My brother went deer hunting. I don't remember if it was archery season or rifle season, but he called my grandpa up and he's like, "Hey, I got a deer." And Grandpa was like, "Do you need help getting it or anything?" He's like, "No." And he came up to the house and he was like, "Look, I got a deer." And he was able to hold it up with one hand,
like a rabbit or something.
It was the smallest deer.
I always tell the hunters to turn the magnification down on their scope. Don't put it on 9. Yeah.
The thing was huge.
Yeah, I just shouldn't be shooting that stuff.
Oh man,
it's a monster.
Yeah. It's coming right for me.
Right before I shot it, it was massive. I'm telling you.
Bullets shrink, right? Like the scope adds 200 pounds.
Sometimes it feels like that. But as far as calibers go, did you want to ask that question?
Yeah, it obviously when you're shooting, the bullet's going to expand when it hits the deer. Are there calibers that do less damage than others that you're? Or do you even know? I mean, I'm sure you see deers with big holes, deers with small holes.
Yeah, it ironically, your larger, slower calibers. When I say slower, in other words, 06, 308, those calibers, the bullet tend to hold together. They mushroom. A 243, a 270, they tend to tumble and come apart and create a lot of damage. And just from what we have seen. Now, I'm not saying that 300 Win Mag or something like that is ideal for a 150-yard shot in Southwest Missouri, but just the old standby does a really good job, and even we see that a lot in black powder, that there's less damage with a 400 grain black powder because it does the job, but it doesn't come apart.
Right. So you've got some different rounds up there, don't you, Logan? To show,
I do.
I just difference in those.
Just grabbed a few really popular hunting calibers. Got 300 Win Mag, some 308, 30-30, 243, and 7mm Aude, which is a little newer. But they're all great for deer.
Oh, yeah.
They all serve a different purpose. 300 Win Mag. Not as many people hunt with it, I would say. Right. But we do definitely have some customers that hunt with it. But I just kind of wanted to showcase what some of these calibers look like compared to one another. 30-30 is one of the most popular. Yeah, at one point it was the most popular hunning caliber. Is that correct in Missouri?
I would say
I'm pretty sure
so.
It was. But you're looking.
I would imagine
right
that the what would you call it? COVID and the effect that it had on ammunition probably made people expand their choices.
It'd be cool if they could do some studies on that because, 30-30 was almost impossible to get for the longest time.
Yeah.
It still is incredibly hard to get.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, any of those other calibers that were kind of just sitting on the shelf collecting dust probably flew off. I mean, I think last year, we were dang near out, weren't we? Did we run out of
pretty
hunting
much
ammo?
of everything.
Really?
Yeah. No, I think everyone did actually.
Yeah.
Because manufacturers were prioritizing your 9mm, your 5.56, more
So
your
military
caliber.
rounds?
Yeah, so they kind of
Yeah.
got away from doing hunting ammo because hunting season was over pretty much. And
Mike, you said you saw a burst of hunting growth last year. What was the difference between last year and the year before in terms of growth? Did you see like 50?
Well, the meat supplies had become kind of hard to get. We never experienced it too bad at the plant, but in a lot of the grocery stores, and it was just interrupted to a lot of plants being closed, and so the men of the family stepped up,
Right.
and they was providing for the family, and it was a good excuse anyway, and and so we seen a lot more people keeping deer, and it also makes, when you're talking about calibers, it makes a difference if you're a seasoned hunter and you've killed a lot of deer and you're after only the big deer, the trophy deer.
For sure.
Well, you're not going to be hunting with a 30-30.
No.
You're going to want to make
No.
sure that you get your big buck. And so it makes a lot of difference. But if you're hunting for the family, then, the 270, 243, if your child is, hunting, your younger child is hunting, youth hunt is very, very popular. And
Yep.
we see a lot of 243s being used during youth.
I could see that. It's a very effective caliber.
Oh, very.
The recoil is pretty minimal for what you're getting. So I can definitely see that. So some of the calibers I have here: 300 Wood Mag, which is massive compared to these other ones. Like for size comparison, here's just a basic 308. It's significantly bigger than the 308.
Yeah.
But 243. And nothing to scoff at either. I mean, there's a 308 compared to 243. Now the bullet looks smaller, but it's traveling pretty quick.
Right.
So it can do a lot of damage. But I had a question about just season in general. Comparatively, how many deer would you say you see from youth season to like archery season to alternative compared to just rifle season?
The youth season, we usually see about 160 deer that weekend, and then the early bow season, we get 10 or 12 in every weekend, and it depends on the weather, obviously,
For sure.
And so some weekends, of course, we just go down there and open the door really slow and see. Oh, I wonder how many deer's in here from this weekend, and we do have a camera in there, so we know early. But and then the alternative season isn't near as busy.
I could see that. Not many people doing it.
Well, we're looking forward to the alternative season this year because Trevor is going to go take one with a ball bat.
Oh yeah,
Really?
the ball
A
bat.
ball bat.
A baseball bat.
Now is this aluminum or?
I like a challenge. I'm
probably
going
gonna-
with
he's probably gonna
wiffle.
go
I'm going with
Hickory.
wiffle. bat.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
be looking for that.
I'm gonna be
deer
out
to
there
come
all
in.
day.
Yeah, be looking for
They
that.
don't run fast, do they?
No, not at all. No.
No, you just need a really bright flashlight and it'll just stand there like this.
Like a car.
So
Get my high beams.
let's point out some of the guns we have on the wall.
Sure, yeah, I
Logan,
wanted to do. Now they're not all necessarily hunting rifles that you use for hunting, but top left here we have a Daniel Defense Delta 5. It's in. I should know this.
You should.
I feel like 308. No, it's in 6.5 Creedmoor, which is a caliber I don't have out here, but it's a really upcoming, good caliber for deer hunting. It's very, very similar to 308. It shoots a little faster, more accurate. The ballistic coefficient is higher, so it has less wind drift. It's just all around, really, it's a better caliber than 308. Got a lever action Browning here in fantastic shape. That's used, but it doesn't look like it.
No, it looks brand new.
243. Moving on down, we have a Remington 7400. I believe that's in 30-06. I'm probably wrong, actually. I don't think it's in 30-06. Let's see here. It's actually in 270. So it's a semi-auto 270. Then we have more of your AR style here. It's a SIG Tread 716i. Shoots 308.
You know, it's interesting that you have that SIG AR up there, though.
I kind of wanted to
most people don't consider that, a hunting gun.
For
but
sure.
You can hunt.
Absolutely.
You can
Now,
hunt with
there are
that.
magazine restrictions. You can't have over 10 rounds.
Right.
So you need to buy a smaller magazine. But absolutely, you could hunt with that, especially if you're more familiar with the semi-auto rifle than bolt action.
Right. Yeah. They make hollow point rounds for it. So, there's
For
always
sure.
been that debate why do you need it? You can't hunt with it, but you
why
literally
can't you?
could hunt
Now,
with that and can.
I'm not suggesting that you take it out and empty a 10-round clip into a deer.
No.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
We're
not.
hunting.
Don't bring it to clouds. Yeah. You've already grounded.
Yeah, right. But just use it as you would any other bolt action.
Yeah.
One shot, one kill kind of thing. Moving on down, we have a Winchester Model 70 in, I want to say 30-06. But I actually have no idea. Let's see. No, but actually 300 Win Mag. So 300 Win Mag. And then moving down here, it's more of a brush gun. It's a Ruger American Ranch and 350 Legend, which is more popular for states that have restrictions on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Price range on a hunting rifle?
Actually, they're reasonably affordable. You're looking anywhere from, with the scope package, around $350, $400, and anywhere up to easily $2-3 grand, just depending on what you want. But there's a lot of companies, Savage, Ruger, that make pretty affordable hunting rifles that anyone could get on the Gun Shop Show.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Kind of ran out of time there, but you know how it is.
We'll throw some links to your website, social media in the show notes, Mike, for folks. Appreciate you joining us. Sorry.
Do you do much deer hunting, Mike?
I take my wife with me. She's a cancer survivor, and she hasn't killed one yet because she's looking for a buck. She won't kill a duck for some reason. I don't know. But she loves to go.
It's fun. I think everyone should go just because you're getting out in nature, enjoying the sun,
We're just basically hanging out right now.
Until that music of Shields stops. And there
Get
it
to
is.
hunting.